Hi friends, today I want to show you how I set up my workspace to use watercolor and how to use watercolor. So I start by getting my materials ready. I have my watercolor palette, the surface I'll be painting on, which is my sketchbook, and my cup of water, and you can see it's a little bit dirty already because I've already been painting today. Sometimes I like to use a paper towel too. To open up your palette, you'll see a little latch on the edge. You'll put your thumb on that and just lift the lid. You'll see your paintbrush comes inside of your palette. There's a spot for it in there. You'll see that I have the colors red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, brown, and black. And before I get into actually using the watercolor here, I just want to remind you that when using a watercolor brush, or any paintbrush for that matter, we have to be very kind and gentle to them. Just like people, paintbrushes can also have a bad hair day if we don't take care of the bristles. So we have to be gentle while we're painting. To get your paint to work, you need to have water on your paintbrush. That's the most important element of using watercolor, or your watercolor won't work. As you can see, I'm putting some water into my black paint, and I just start painting on my page. Now, some of the paint is coming off nicely, some is a little bit dry. So that means that I need to put more water on my brush and more water into my paint to get that paint to come off of my brush. Again, water is the way to make the paints work. So I put some water into my red to activate the color. And there we go. Sometimes you have to wet your paintbrush a few times and go back and forth into the color that you want to use to get that color to work. Another very important step while using watercolor is to clean your brush in between colors. I am washing my brush again. I moved from orange and now I'm going to move on to yellow. So I wash my brush between those colors before I put my brush back into my paint. This helps us to get the color that we want to use and to keep our paintbrush and our palettes nice and clean. And as you can see, I'm being very gentle with my brush. Only the tippy toes, or the tip of the bristles of my brush, which is its hair, are touching the page. I go back and wet my brush, clean it between colors, and move on to the next. You have to do this every time you're switching colors. If your paint is coming off of your brush too dry, that means you need to add more water to your bristles. And of course, when you're done painting, make sure you clean your brush, you put it back in your palette, you close your palette, and then you let your work dry. Thanks for watching.